Hello, brick builders. How you doing today, Mr. Studs, with our daily tip number 7. Today I want to talk to you about water, and specifically doing open water and beaches. So, Lego recently released the Ship in a Bottle, and they decided that to represent water, they're going to use a whole lot of translucent pips. I've seen this a lot in MOCs, and it's perfectly fine to do. But what I like to do is add quite a bit more variation, because very rarely in nature, if you go to the beach or you go and look at open water, do you see still, calm, open water like people use just plates to do that. And you never see just one color. Even on a foggy day, you'll see ripples and variations where light is touching. So I like to represent that when I'm doing my water. So I got a assortment of pieces out here, and I use all of these in different variations. So we got clear plates with studs on them, some cheese wedges, our light blue translucents, whites. We got dark blue plates and in both square and round. So I'm going to show you what I put together just real quick to show you an example of doing some sort of semi-realistic water, so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. So here we have our land or beach, and it's meeting some shallowish water coming in. On the shoreline, to start with, I have just some translucent pieces, and I have those plates with the studs on them, rather than just smooth plates, because those studs kind of represent that rippling effect you see when the water meets the land. I also have a couple of cheese slopes there, just sort of accentuating that rippling effect some more. We have some areas where the water is a little bit deeper and maybe digging out a channel here or there. If you notice underneath these tiles, I picked out some of those land colors and put them underneath. And you'll notice, here, let me focus that in for you. Okay. You'll notice that this is 2 plates thick. Well, it's actually a full 3 plates if you include the base plate. That gives you a chance to put a top layer on, as well as put some colors and play with some colors underneath. So when you go into the darker blue here, that gives a sense of depth. And you can actually see the original plate color under the bottom. I didn't cover every single surface under there. Like, that's just a pip, and that's just a square plate. And I left gaps. And those gaps, again, just play with that idea that there's a depth there. Another thing you're going to want to think about when you're laying your tiles out on top is varying which tiles you're laying out. So some of these in here are the light blue, and then we got the dark blue back here. Again, this is just a clear cheese wedge. So there's all sorts of things to play with, and you want to try to make it look like the waves are going all in the same direction, that they're lapping like they do. Like waves in a beach, if you ever go look, they don't go in all sorts of weird, crazy directions. If they're coming back from the beach, they go in one direction, but then if they're coming from the water, they go in the other direction, but they're still along the same plane. So think about that when also you're laying your tiles out and laying your colors. So that's all I wanted to show you today. This is a really fun technique. You can play around with it. You can get it exactly how you want it. Obviously, it takes a lot more work than just piling in studs. And even if you're piling in studs, throw in a different color, darker one, lighter one, even throw in some white ones just to add a little bit of variation. Because when you see just one color like that, it isn't really what water kind of looks like in reality. So I hope you have fun with that. I hope it was helpful. I'll see you tomorrow, and happy building!